There we go. So we can share it with all those people, because there's a few people that would really like to be here and can't make it during the day. So, all right, welcome. Okay, how are things down at the clinic today?
A little crazy, a little hectic. I should take an hour off to do some gentle movement, I think.
Right.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just welcome to everybody. Yeah, as you said, this will be the last class for this year. I'm sure you'll do more next year, which is great. Just wondering if anybody had any questions, anything I can address in terms of,
Yeah, we've got a few different classes, I think, coming online in January. So we're just trying to see how the schedule is going to be put together. But
right.
Movement is such an important part of recovery.
Absolutely.
So many things. Our bodies are meant to move. In previous times, before our modern society, we were moving all the time. And in our modern society, we don't have a chance to shake things off and move things out, and particularly with pain. Yeah,
just to just emphasize that you're absolutely right. The importance of just starting to move. It's not about the exercise. It's not about how much you can do. It's just about the fact that you are moving. Lots of research on just the gentle movement and the positive influence that has, and the fact that no, it doesn't cause harm or damage, that it is actually an essential part of your recovery process, where you're managing chronic pain. You're not going to be hurting yourself by doing gentle movements 99.999% of the time. And the fact that it's actually more harmful to be sedentary and not to move. And just because when you move you have some pain does not mean that you're causing any further damage or inflammation or anything like that. We've spoken in detail about moving within your pain limitations. It's not about breaking through those pain thresholds. Oh yes, I must, it's getting very, very painful, I must just move through that. No, it's moving up to that. I think we've had lots of conversations about that in the past as well. So, just realizing that small amounts of movement that are associated with a little bit of pain is not causing damage. It's actually really important.
Right. So, and we've got these 3 keys that we're going to always be repeating that give us insight as to, are we doing too much? Are we not doing enough? And it can feel like a very fine balance, but like you said, we kind of toggle around the edge of pain. And so I have a new saying, and it goes like this: move to the speed of safety. And so we're only moving to the speed of safety. And I know many of you have been very active before in your lives, as I have been as well. And I honestly find those small, micro, regular movements get you farther in the long run. So we're the turtle, not what is it? We're the tortoise, not the hare.
Not the hare, yeah.
But we both reach the finish line, if there is one.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. The tortoise and the hare, and it is. It's not about how much exercise you can do. It's just about stretching those muscles, moving them, and we've all seen that. So yeah.
The last little point on that before you go is that I have read many times that most of the benefits of exercise is it's 85% neurology, rather than physical or cardio. We get all those things, but it's more of the effect on your nervous system and your brain where you really get the benefit.
Yeah, and I think for chronic pain, that's more and more relevant. It's not just the exercise, it's the actual feedback on your nervous system and the changes within your nervous system that when you achieve small movements that can bring about. It's not an exercise thing. It's not supposed to be an exercise class. It's a movement class. It's about generating the movement. So yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you. We will get moving.
Right. Have a good morning. Take care.
All right. I'm just checking in with the chat. Yes, I have to agree with that. It's hard to get anyone else, especially my dog too, to stick to the speed of safety, right? That's where sometimes you have to go to the dog park and let them run to the speed of their own safety, so you can do your own speed of safety. So speaking of speed of safety, I'm gonna just stop this. And hopefully you can all see me still. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, I can see myself. Okay, so we have 3 keys to moving to the speed of safety. One is staying connected with your breath as much as you can. And this is always something, you know, that's taught in yoga. Easier said than done, because we do tend to go unconscious. You know, what I mean by that is we become not aware of what's happening in our body. So as best we can, I'm going to guide you back to your breath. And so we always know that if we're in the window of tolerance. So there's a window where over on this side of the window, it's not even open. We're not moving at all because maybe we're afraid. We have fear of flare-ups, which is really, you know, it's a very legitimate, really common fear to have. And then over here, we're just moving unconsciously and not being aware of our bodies, and that we're pushing ourselves too hard. Anybody else being over there? So we're going to try to toggle within this window of tolerance. This is really important for pain. There's no right or wrong. Don't be afraid. It's a little bit of trial and error in your own nervous system. Staying connected with your breath, noticing muscle tension, right? And the third part is monitoring your pain. You know, almost like a side buddy, or you know, a co-pilot that's there. We probably expect them to be there, but you want to listen to whether they're making too much noise, and then you know, slow down the vehicle. Okay, they're allowed to make some noise because often they do, but we're going to keep on. You can keep on driving by just slowing down your speed, if that makes sense. So today being our last class, if you're new to the class, well, for all of you, I invite you to do as much as you want, or just sit and watch. Always the option to wait for the next move, right? So let the train go by, catch the next car if this one doesn't look like it's for you, okay? And it is being recorded, so you can always come back to it and practice again, because we're gonna move a little bit more quickly than we have in the past, because we've been building up towards this, right? So I'm going to be moving through body parts. I'm going to be moving through different ways of moving on our chair, and then standing beside our chair on either side, and then back down. So I won't be able to answer any questions as we go along, but I will stop and check in, and do as much or as little as your body feels that it needs today. All right, so let's get started. Any questions before we begin? All right. Okay, we'll move back a little bit to begin with. Okay, sitting on your chair, on your couch, or maybe you're even standing up already. Anything that we're doing, anything we're doing can be done from a chair. And so even when I stand up, you don't have to follow me, okay? You don't have to follow me. All right, so sit as comfortably as possible. If you can, have your 2 feet planted, grounded on the floor. Or if you're sitting or lying down, just feel where your body is supported by the chair or by the couch or the bed, if that's where you're at today. And just start to notice. Again, I always say this is probably the most important 2 or 3 minutes of the morning, to start to notice your breath. And as you do that, you might start to take 2 or 3 slower, deeper breaths. Allow yourself a little bit more oxygen into your body. You deserve it. Everyone gets to breathe as much oxygen as they can. And as you're breathing in, filling up your lungs side to side, front to back, maybe, if that feels safe for you. With your exhale, and let it out with a sigh. If you can, release any muscle tension that you can today. Let's do that again. A nice deep breath in. Exhale. Maybe relax your jaw, your shoulders. And one more. Breathing in. Pulling up. Exhaling. Let gravity allow you to land, to arrive right here. And letting go of what it took to get you here this morning, maybe getting on to Zoom, maybe letting go of your week and arriving right here in this moment as best as you can. So sit maybe, if you can, 10% more comfortable. If that's available to you in your body today. And again, everybody's going to be a little bit different. You're going to be different than half an hour ago, yesterday, or even tomorrow. Notice where you're at right now, as much as feels safe. Moving at the speed of safety. Excuse me. Turn on some lights. All right. So from here, you can feel free to watch first. I've got my hands extended out on either side. And as I inhale, I'm going to lift my hands up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to exhale out. Okay, so as best you can, even with your own breath and your own time now, because you know this, you might be just coming up to what we call goddess pose right here, or even lower, and exhale out. Joining our breath with our movement. Inhale. And exhale. Starting to get to know what your body feels like today. Inhale. And exhale. And as you inhale this time, notice the rest of your body. Are you clenching? Are you tightening your legs? I just noticed my toes clenching a bit. What's your muscle tension like? And then inhale. This one's going to be a little bit different, going as far as feels good for you within that window. And then as you exhale, we're going to release one arm down to the side of your chair or the side of your body. And then with an inhale, reach ever so slightly over to one side. Notice if you're pushing yourself too hard. And exhale that arm back down. Move to the speed of safety. Inhale, joining breath with movement. And as you exhale, perhaps just leaning over slightly, using your arm, this arm for some support, opening up through your side. Again, you might be right down here or not even raising your arm at all. Everything is welcome here. Exhale down. Okay? Inhale. As you exhale, can you keep your torso fairly centered? Are you breathing? Exhale. Are you breath holding? Just notice. No pass or fail. Okay. And then come back to the center. Maybe just finding your feet again, finding your feet and your seat. noticing your body. All right, so I feel inclined to do a little bit of just a tiny bit of spinal movement and see what that even sounds like to you. See, you know, as I say those words, a fear alarm might be going off. Just notice that. So now I can show you first, my hands resting on my thighs. What I'm going to do, I'm going to inhale and I'm going to lift my sternum, which is right here, very slightly towards the far corner of the room. And as I exhale, I'm just going to round my belly button in a little bit towards my spine. Okay. So inhaling, sternum up a little bit, relax shoulders, exhale. It's like you're rolling over on your sitting bones almost. See if you can keep a little bit of tension out of your shoulders as we. This is a beautiful waking up for the spine, and each of you, if you have some spinal issues going on, of course, if you watch, you can also get the benefit, believe it or not. Your brain sometimes can't tell the difference between thinking, imagining, and actually doing. And exhale, come back to the center, check in with your body, feeling any muscle tension. All right, we're gonna move a little bit through our neck and shoulders. And again, move within, remember, that window of tolerance. So for the first one, we're gonna inhale. And as we exhale, just gently look towards your left shoulder. Just towards your left shoulder. Exhale, come back to the center. Inhale. And towards the right shoulder. And just see, you might only be moving your eyes, and that's okay too. We get a lot of benefit just from moving our eyes. It's actually a trauma treatment. And let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Just noticing any extra muscle tension. And coming back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Moving with your breath. Noticing where you breath hold, where you breathe short and shallow. Okay, this time we're going to lower an ear towards the shoulder. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Noticing then the rest of your body. Inhaling, exhale. There's no right or wrong to this. And exhale. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. And now we're going to do some shoulder rolls one way and then another way. These micro movements that are so important that we don't bypass. So inhale. And exhale. Shoulders rolling, maybe a circle of about the size of a dime or the size of my necklace here. Or maybe they're a little bit bigger and more expansive today. Just notice. Keeping your sitting bones and your feet on the floor if you can. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm already noticing some muscle tension. Stopping at any time. And then moving the opposite direction. Inhaling. And as best you can, if you can think of this as not so much work, but maybe the opening up of pleasure or play. Just throw that in the pond and see what happens. So gentle shoulder rolls. All right, come back to the center. Now as we inhale, this time we're going to lower our head, our chin down towards our chest. This may seem like a very small movement, but you'll notice that there's a lot of muscles involved. And if this feels safe for you to stay here and take a few breaths, lifting up and then exhaling down. Again, just seeing what that feels like as we inhale. Back up and coming back to our center. Maybe taking a breath here as if you're breathing up through the center of your body and right back down through your core, right back down through your seat to your feet. All right. So here, the next one, we're going to do a very a gentle twist. So I'm bringing both hands to one side, one leg. And I'm going to be taking an inhale here, put both hands here, to center, straighten my spine a little bit, and then exhale. I'm just going to bring my gaze over to one side without moving my legs. And just see what that feels like, a very gentle, gentle twist through the abdomen, the internal organs, and the lower back. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale. Are you breathing on this one? Inhale. Other side. Exhale. If you're not breathing, just move out a little bit. Let's see what that feels like. Are you pushing too hard? Or perhaps you need a little bit more effort. Sometimes that's the case. And exhale. Coming back to the center. All right. So we did this one last time, and you may remember it. We're going to be scooping water. So we're going to inhale our arms back. You can watch me first if you like, keeping your feet firmly planted. You can inhale back our arms, and again, you might just watch. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring our arms through this way. It's like we're leaning back a little bit, so you feel a little bit of your core and splashing the water over your shoulders. So we inhale. So using a lot of muscles here. As you exhale, just see what that feels like. Again, you might just move up to the edge of your cane and toggle there, as we say. And inhale, scooping up the water behind you. And then exhale, moving back a tiny bit. Perhaps feel your core engaging a tiny bit. Or a lot, depending on how, where you're at today. Another good question to ask yourself, inhale and exhale, is, am I safe? And will I pay for this tomorrow? Okay, so come back to the center, relax your arms down, check in with your body. And sometimes when you ask that question to yourself, you might get a good indication of where you're at. Okay, so here we're going to move to one side of our chair. Now to do that, let's just move with awareness. So when you're sitting, feel your feet, push your feet into, and if you're not going to get up, you can just do this anyway, because push your feet into the floor so you can feel your heels, feel your toes, and then engage, focusing on the big muscles of your legs to push yourself up in a moving with awareness. Okay, so here we're going to come to one side of our chair. And you can also do this from sitting. Okay, you're gonna do it to the best of your ability. I can't see you, so I'm not able to help you, sorry. So come to the side of your chair. This is probably one of the most important positions to take, is standing in your own feet. So notice what it feels like, just in terms of balance, to rock back onto your heels and onto your toes, and then back onto your heels and onto your toes. And then let your heels land. Can you lift up your toes and then spread them down? And firmly plant your feet. Okay, get myself firm. I'm gonna just go like this. All right, you can still hear me. So making sure you hold on for balance. We're gonna bring one foot out in front of us. And just plant it down in front of you. And just lean very slightly with the back foot still planted into the front leg. You can put your hands on your hips if you feel balanced this morning. And just see what that feels like to engage through your front quadricep. And you might even stay there and feel a gentle stretch through your back hamstring. Breathing in, breathing out. And then moving your weight onto your back leg, always holding for balance if you need to. You're gonna move back and lift up your toes. And we're now engaging the large muscle in our back leg. Good. All right, now come back to equal weight on both feet. And here's where it's going to get interesting. You're going to move to speed of safety. I've got my hands on my hips or on the chair. I'm just going to lean forward very gently, keeping my hips square. You can get a very stretch, gentle opening in the back of my leg, and then back up. Okay. So with that front leg, we're going to flex the toes towards your nose, and then point. So we're going to lift the foot up very slightly. If this feels comfortable for you, please don't fall over. And then flex and point, and flex and point. And you can do this with your heel on the floor. Okay. And then return that leg back down. With both feet. As you inhale, we're going to lift that foot up again. And just give it some gentle movement. If you can, hopefully you can see me. Just you can do this on your chair too. Just up and down. And then back down. Feel both feet. Once again, planting on that one trunk, that one leg, lifting that same one up as we inhale and exhale, just moving it a little bit from side to side. And then back down. And remember, it's about just moving with awareness. Okay. All right, so we're going to move to the other side. You can stay on that side of the chair, or you can move around to the other side of your chair. Once again, finding your feet, toes to heels, toes to heels, and then lifting your toes and planting them down. Okay. So as you inhale, we're going to put the weight onto one of our legs and moving the other one forward, planting your foot down and bending that knee. So we're moving our weight onto our front leg. And you might feel just gentle opening in your back leg. Just breathing and see what that feels like. How's the rest of your body? Do you have a lot of muscle tension? Should you be pulling out a little bit? Are you safe? And then moving back to put the weight on the other leg. And again, that large quadricep muscle. See what that feels like. Always hold on for balance. Do not topple over on me. And then let's do that one more time. Move to putting the weight on your front leg. Your knee is coming forward as best you can over your toes. Remember, it's not about form here. It's more about moving with awareness. It's about nourishing your nervous system. It's really what it's about. Okay. All right, and then we're going to keep as best you can. Bring both legs to straight or slightly bent if you want. See what feels most comfortable for you, and see keeping your hips square as feels possible. Very slight forward movement. Feel a little bit of opening in that front back leg. Sorry, the back of your front leg. Okay, are you breathing? Am I safe? And then coming back up to standing, bringing both feet together. A little bit more standing, and then we're going to get back to sitting. So just like we did on the other side, feet are firmly planted. I'm going to really put the weight onto my inside leg here. And then I'm going to lift my other leg. You can do this just again, keeping your heel on the floor if you want to. And then point and flex your toes. Poor old feet don't get much attention, and they sure work hard. Good. And then relax that down. And then we're going to inhale that foot up again, and just some gentle back and forth movements with your breath. Or it's more like up and down movements, really. Okay, what's happening in your other leg? Are you clenching your jaw or your shoulders? And release. And then we'll move into the side-to-side movements. And again, if you have hip issues or you're having a lot of tension or pain, please don't push yourself too hard. You are always welcome to just watch. This is the beauty of Zoom. There's no pressure. But just loosening up the ball that's in that socket of your hip there. Gentle movement side to side. And then release back down. Okay, so just take a moment to notice if you feel comfortable to let go of the chair. Just notice how your legs, how you feel in your body right now. Now we're going to take mountain pose, which is again finding yourself pushing your feet down into the floor and then feeling perhaps yourself rise up through your spine, up through the crown of your head, and engaging even your fingers. And just taking 2 or 3 deeper breaths right here in your body. All right, just have to check my notes there. Just want to be able to. All right, so when we come around to the front of the chair, we're going to lower down, but in a mindful way. So where I am. So engage again, focusing on those large muscle groups. If you want to bring your hands out in front of you, and slowly lowering back down onto your chair. So how many times a day do we do that? And can we bring some awareness into those daily movements. Okay. All right. So coming back to sitting as best you can with straight-ish spine. And your spine might not naturally be straight. In fact, that might be, just it's more of sitting as comfortably as possible. Okay, so I'll show you where we're going to go here. I'm going to take an inhale. I'm just going to take one of my legs, and I've got my foot flexed. And you don't have to, if it doesn't feel comfortable, to take your leg from behind your, from the back of your leg. That's totally okay. I'm just going to bring it up very slightly towards my belly button. So breathing here. And release it down. And I'm going to take my other leg, again with a flexed foot. Bring it up slightly towards my belly button or my chest. Notice any tension in your shoulders, your buttocks. And release it down. Let's do that one more time. And again, you're going to move as best you can in your body today. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to bring both hands to our chest and wiggle forward a little bit on my chair. My feet are still on the floor. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to roll backwards, maybe like 45 degrees. And you can actually just do this with very, very little motion. And I'm just engaging my core muscles here. I'm going to bring a hand to my belly in a very subtle way. Okay. And I'm going to come back up. Inhale. And again, this is just about connecting in with your core. It's not about building a six-pack of abs. Just a little bit of a different motion taking today and staying connected with your breath. And back up. Okay, relax your hands down. So I'm going to do my forward fold now. Some of you may know I really like this, but I want you to go as deep or as shallow as feels okay for you. So with an inhale, I'm just going to bring myself down forward with resting my elbows on my knees and allow my head to hang forward. Now, again, connecting with your feet, make sure you're not gripping and that you can stay breathing. You might do this from a sitting position, or you might even lower yourself down farther. See what feels right in your body, moving to the speed of safety. So inhaling and exhaling. And this is a good place to think about releasing any tension from your neck or your shoulders or from your life. Where can I release a little bit of tension in my life? Where am I gripping too hard? How are you breathing? The rest of your body tense at all? Release muscle tension. And with your next inhale, bringing yourself back up. All right, we're gonna move towards the end here. So we didn't get to do any ankle rotations. So extend one leg out in front of you. And again, you can do this with your heel on the ground or lifting it up and doing some gentle ankle. And if you like, a wrist roll with it. How's that for coordination? In one direction and another. Notice the rest of your body. And release. Go to the other side. Inhale, ankle and wrist. Again, you're going to move to the sound of your own safety. Paying attention. Are you breathing? Does this feel okay? Does it feel safe? Not does this feel okay, because sometimes things just don't feel okay, right? Okay, and now we're going to put one heel out in front of you. So I've got my right leg straight. And I'm going to use my hands for a little bit of support. And I'm going to very gently bow forward. I can feel a little bit of a stretch in my hamstring. Very gently. Are you breathing? And inhale, back up. Release that foot to the ground. Inhale. I'm sure you guys are doing great. Wish I could see you. I've got my foot out. My foot is flexed towards my nose. And a very gentle bow forward. All right. And release that foot back up. Okay. So we're going to start coming to the end. We're going to close the same way that we started. So you might choose to watch me first. And if you remember, with our arms outstretched, sitting, just notice, you might just see where you are in space. There's something called proprioception, to notice where your body is in space, to become aware of yourself right now. How are you holding yourself? And it takes a little wiggling, a little bit of shaking. So we're going to exhale and we're going to inhale our arms up once more. Exhale, completely even that last 10%, and inhale. As far as up, this feels safe. And your shoulders not so much hunched, but shoulders relaxed. Exhale. Inhale. Almost like your breath is lifting your arms. Exhale. Inhale. And this time, watch me, I'm going to exhale my arms down in front of me. And I'm going to extend my palms towards you. So I feel a little bit opening in my forearms. And release. Check it out. Inhale. Exhale down in front. What that feels like. Exhale. And inhale. This time, if you can, bring your hands together. And bring them right down. So you're going to stop at about shoulder height with your arms bent. And as we inhale, you can watch me first if you like. I'm going to open my arms up to, again, what we call like cactus arms. As best you can, to wherever feels safe for you. And right here, can you feel a little bit of opening perhaps in your sternum, in your chest? So a little bit of a chest opener. You might raise your gaze a little bit. You might lift your chin a little bit. See what it feels like. And exhale, bringing our arms back together. Our palms, we're gonna just do that one more time. Opening up your chest, maybe your lungs, maybe your heart. Look up, raise your chin up. And exhale, come back. And resting your arms down on your legs. Okay. So just check in with your body, see what that feels like, and see if there's any movement. If you feel like you want to shake some of that out, maybe there's something that's left for you. Is there still some part of your body, if you're listening into yourself, that still needs a little bit of attention? One thing that's nice to do is I want to leave you with a pose to take with you, and it's called, if this fits for you today, it's called self-care pose. So as we bring touch to our own skin, we get a release of oxytocin, serotonin, all those feeling good chemicals, because when we live with pain and stress, we often have an overload of the cortisol, the adrenaline. So let's balance that out by bringing one arm, if you can, to your arm, your opposite arm, or your shoulder, and wrapping the other one around your side or just on your belly. And here, just breathing into your chest, your heart. Sometimes it helps to just lower your gaze towards your upper arm. And breathing into your arms here, 2 or 3 deeper breaths in what's called self-care pose. Now you're welcome to stay right there. You're welcome to lie down or take any sort of restful position that feels right for you. And we're just going to do about 5 minutes of a guided relaxation. So I invite you to close or lower your eyes, whatever feels perfect for you right now. And as well as maybe noticing your breath and letting it go, and letting go of any expectation right now, any expectation to do anything or be anything other than exactly where you are. So bring as much as feels okay for you, bring all of you here. All parts of you are approved of, all parts are welcome, all parts are seen. Letting go of any expectation to be anything other than where you are. And just bringing your attention to the top of your head. And just doing a body scan through noticing your ears and your forehead. And maybe bringing a gaze to your face. What I mean by that is attention to your jaw, allowing it to soften, relax, down through your neck, noticing your shoulders, down through your chest, your arms, your hands, your fingers, Noticing the tops of your hands, the palms of your hands, noticing any sensation, maybe a warmth or a tingling, allowing your hands to let go of any gripping, do anything in this moment. Maybe melting any tension through your chest, allowing your belly to just soften and relax. Down through your hips, sitting bones, your pelvis, through your thighs, your knees, shins, calves, right down to your feet, toes, tops of your feet, the bottoms of your feet. Just becoming aware of your body. Your attention might be pulled to parts that feel uncomfortable today. It's really normal. Can you also bring your attention to perhaps a part of your body that today feels good? Maybe a quiet part, might be an ear, might be your breath, your heart. From there, you might bring your attention to part of your life that is already good, is there to support you. Perhaps a feeling of gratitude for that part, or that person, or that particular thing in your life that you really appreciate. And lastly, you bring your attention to yourself, for something in you brought you here. Something in you showed up today. Even if it was just to watch. It was something in you that added to this class, that made it a class. And I appreciate that. So as we bring this class to a close, you might picture yourself moving through your day, getting up, getting down, maybe moving with an awareness and moving to your own speed of safety, and how nourishing that is for your brain, your spinal cord, your central nervous system. And so you're welcome to stay exactly where you are. If you're in a nice restful place and you can, please do that. Otherwise, I will move towards the screen and just check the chat and feel free to pose any questions or comments. Yeah, so these recordings I send out to people who are registered for the class. And it's different than the recordings of the webinars. All the webinars are posted on the website, but these sessions I will be sending out to the class probably later today. Okay. So if there's no questions, great, Alden. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, you came in the last 2 weeks, so we were really kind of putting together a whole lot of stuff. But if you felt comfortable in these two classes, then you can keep on doing these 2 classes from the recording, and you'll find, hopefully, that it'll translate to how you do things in the rest of your day, which is really, it really is the goal, right? I'm glad to hear that. It's calming to be able to move. Yeah, I'm glad you were here. The first class you've been able to attend. Yeah, first class, unfortunately the last one for this year, but good. All right, everyone, take care. Keep your eyes open for what comes up on the schedule for next, for January. And Monday night's webinar is, which are always posted on the website. This one coming up is around boundaries and why they are good medicine for pain. All right. Yeah, happy holidays, everyone.